Hey, cosmic superstars, welcome to Honest Flow. My name is Teo, and it is wonderful, I guess, to have you here with me in this moment in time. Now, I just want to put out a bit of a disclaimer that this video will be triggering for some, and this particular topic was something I actually wanted to speak about eventually. However, it appears that I need to speak about it sooner rather than later, and I suppose now that we're sort of really getting into the groove of things, for those of you watching in 2023, it is a universal year 7. It is a time for introspection and reflection and really digging deep and understanding what's working and what's not, and really releasing anything that no longer serves you. Like, this is the year for it. And if you're watching this later in time, you can still release things that do not serve you. It doesn't matter when you do it, just do it. And yeah, the reason I decided to do this video earlier than expected is because last night I received a message that I did not appreciate, and really it highlighted to me how lost people are and how people need to really snap out of certain behaviors. Because yeah, it's funny because I feel like this is a follow on video from the video that I just last posted, which was about setting boundaries and not being the villain. Last night I received a message that once again proves to me that people are always painting me as the villain. And just to give you a brief overview, and to the person who sent this message, this video is not about attacking you, but it is simply about highlighting certain behaviors that you, amongst many others out there, are doing, which is not okay. It's not cool and it needs to stop. I'm serious. So I am in my Queen of Wands energy. And, if you didn't realize, this whole channel is called Honest Flow. It's about honest conversations, and honest conversations are not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. In fact, they're meant to be hard, they're meant to be difficult, they can hurt because the truth hurts, right? And I feel like so many people get annoyed when I speak the truth, get annoyed when I'm bluntly honest about something. And instead of acknowledging the truth of the situation, the facts, it's just so much easier for these people to project onto me and blame me for their own suffering. And no, 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 I am not having that. And so, yeah, last night I received a message from someone, not someone that I'm very close to either, which again just goes to show how many people just see me as an easy target, not realizing that I am very, very good at conflict management. Like, I've worked in highly stressful jobs, and I've always been the one that handles conflict very, very well in a diplomatic manner. And I know that people look at me and just assume that I'm weak and emotional. Yes, I have an emotional side, but when it comes to conflict management and dealing with difficult personalities, I'm like the go-to person in the workplace. I'm the one that can go, "Hey, let me come in, let me speak to this person myself, and I'll deal with it." And I always manage to diffuse things. So yeah, last night I received a message that basically said I was being selfish because I wasn't there for said person. And I was like, I was just like quite annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like all peaceful and yeah, I wasn't like all peaceful about it. I was really annoyed. And then, I read that message this morning because it was sent last night, but I saw it this morning. And to wake up to something like that and get accused of being the reason someone is unhappy, I'm just like, no. Especially after posting my video just a few days ago about, setting boundaries and no longer accepting anyone calling me the villain when I was not. And it's funny, the universe obviously decides to test me. It's like, well, here you go, Teo. We're going to send you this person right now who's going to accuse you of being the villain. What are you going to do about it? And so I sent a long ass, truthful message about, hey, don't play the victim or the martyr here. You're causing your own suffering. And yeah, stop projecting. Stop projecting. And by the way, how can you say to me that I'm not there for you when no one has been there for me? No one has asked me how I am going. No one even knows my story. People within my own circles don't really know my story because when have they ever asked me how I'm going? When have they asked to learn about me? When I'm the one asking questions to learn about them, when I'm the one holding space for everyone. But why is it I'm the villain? Yeah, so today's video is actually about projections and just basically telling everyone to stop it. Stop projecting your shit, your wounds, your pain onto others. Stop blaming people for your own suffering. Okay? And do the work. Acknowledge that some of that stuff belongs to you and it's not another person's problem, especially a person who has never done anything bad to you except was not present enough for you. And you know what I find really interesting? People throughout my life, right? People have projected onto me that I was not there for them. And they would be like, if you knew I was going through problems, why didn't you come and help me? Like, why weren't you there for me if you knew I was hurting? And my answer is this: I'm a person that lets people be. And when people need me, they have to reach out to me. Secondly, I have my own life, I have my own things going on. I am married. I am in a committed relationship. I have work. I have my own life. I'm not a person that has nothing to do. Perhaps you do, but don't assume that I am the same as you. Don't put me in the same box and think that I have so much time thinking about all these like negative things about everybody else. I don't spend my time doing things like that. Right? So do not come to me and say to me or accuse me of being a bad friend, a bad person because I was not there for you, because I did not fit your expectations, because I did not meet your unrealistic standards. I mean, guys, be more logical, use your brain. Know that people have lives. Everybody has a life. Everybody is dealing with their own shit. You just don't know it because we don't talk about it because we're busy dealing with it. Okay? Understand this, please. Yeah. And this is why I am doing this video, because I need people to really wake up to where they're pointing fingers at everyone else. You know, so many people are still playing the victim, the martyr, blaming everyone else for their depression when really the only person that can really help you is you. The only person that ever helped me was me, not everybody else. Nobody else helped me to heal. Nobody else helped me to get to where I am today. I did it on myself. So why is it you're all relying on me to hold your hand, to be there for you? And again, why is it okay for you to accuse me of not being there for you? But then if I reverse the situation, ask you, when were you there for me? Many of you who accuse me of not being there for you won't be able to answer when you were there for me. And many of you would not be able to tell me about my past, my history, because none of you have ever really shown any interest. So, how is this making sense? Right. And, you know, I've said this in my other video, my last video, but I'm going to say again: ask and you shall receive. If you need help, ask for help. Don't sit there with your pride and ego and think that, oh, they should know. They should know that something's going on here. They should reach out to me. They should just know. Because people don't know. The truth is, people are too busy to know, to be aware. Stop blaming. Stop expecting. If you need help, just ask for it. And this is the problem with humanity. We don't ask. And I'm guilty of that too. Like in the past, I'd be like, nobody asks me how I am, blah, blah, blah. But how can anyone know that I'm going through stuff? Especially with me, I'm always sort of painting myself as this optimistic person. I mean, I am an optimistic person. I'm always laughing and I'm always trying to uplift everyone. So no one would even know that I have been through things, that I struggle as well. And, and then I'm, in the back of my mind, I am getting angry at people, resenting people for not being there for me. But then one day I woke up and realized, hey, oh, you can't be mad at these people for not being there for you when you haven't even told them that you've had problems. You know, How can you expect people to read your mind, especially when you're hard to read, Terry? You're hard to read. And yeah, and so I myself have been learning to be more open about things. Like when I talk to my best friend now, I don't know if she started noticing, but I'm actually very more open when I'm struggling now. In the past, I'd be like, sort of not say anything, but lately, when she asks how's things, I'm actually very open and I'll tell her, it's like, oh, well, I'm going through these things. Dory is our cat, our baby girl. She's been very unwell and it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, yeah, and that's been very, yeah, taking a toll on both my partner and I. And I would say more so my partner because he really loves Dory. I love her too, but we have a different style in showing love. But yeah, and seeing my partner stresses me out because I'm an empath and I feel his energy and I feel his stresses and I feel that he can't sleep. And yeah, because anyway, off topic. But yeah, so I have learned to start being more open. I have learned that if I really need help, I should just reach out. And I feel in a way that my best friend has started learning the same thing because she actually reaches out to me now and tells me when she's struggling. And so I'm there for her and we're there for each other now. We've sort of grown and learned to just communicate. I'm going through something. Are you free? And then I want people to understand if someone's not free, don't take it as rejection. Just take it as they've got something on and they can't be there for you. But then you can always turn to another person or another person. There's so many people out there, I'm sure. I mean, I don't believe that anyone only has one contact person. There's many others. And if you really don't have anyone, then call one of those like helplines. There are so many helplines out there that will support you. But yeah, just stop projecting, right? Stop projecting. Stop blaming people for not being there for you because it's just not cool. Just not cool, guys. And, I'm very passionate about this right now because it's just gotten to the point where I'm like, nah, I need to be honest. I need to jump on here and just speak it and just say it and push back and be like, no, guys, you need to own your shit because a lot of you aren't owning it. A lot of you are still pointing fingers, right? And yeah, so yeah, this video is about projections. And, another thing about projections is I find that a lot of people assume that people are like them. And what I mean by that is that there is this assumption that, okay, if someone said this to me, I will probably react like this. So I'm going to assume this is how she's going to react or he's going to react. And I've always sensed this about certain people in my life. Like they want to speak to me about something very serious or something that I said that hurt their feelings, blah, 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 or did that, didn't upset them. And then they mull over it. Oh, they mull over it for however long, who knows, like months, years, I don't know. But then they finally, you know, get the courage to approach me and speak to me about it. And I always can sense that they're very anxious because they think that I'm going to turn around and attack them and have a go at them. But guess what? I have never attacked anyone for speaking the truth or saying something to me. However, I have been bluntly honest and truthful and yeah, and I know the truth hurts, but I have never yelled or been rah, rah, rah. I take my time and absorb what they say. I take the space, I rephrase, reiterate the understanding of what they're saying, and then I let them know, hey, that was not my intention. I'm sorry that hurt you, but that is not my intention. The truth is, this is what's going on in my life right now, and this is how I see things. And it is never my intent to hurt you or like make you feel abandoned or whatever, okay? Just understand that. And every time I've done this, I could see that these people were sort of like, ah, okay, like they're not expecting me that response. They're expecting a reaction because if someone were to say those things to them, they would react. They would get emotional. They would feel really hurt. And you see, that's another thing about projections, assuming that you know how someone will respond because you are sort of projecting your own experiences, your own personal lens of how you would respond to things. And that's another thing I want people to understand. Don't always assume you know how someone is going to act or respond to things, and don't always assume why people do things either. I've had people sort of project like they would. Okay, I'm just trying to think of how to say this. I have had people who assume or make assumptions about the intent of why I say certain things or why I do certain things when it's actually not the case. Number one, I'm not a manipulative person. I'm very open, I'm very honest. I'm a very pure intentioned, good willed kind of person. I don't do things or strategize about things in the sense like I don't go, okay, I'm going to be nice to this person because I want this in return. I'm not like that. I'm nice because I'm nice. That's just who I am. It's just how I'm built. It's how I'm wired. And throughout my life, I've had people project that I'm being nice because I want something. They're always thinking, what's in it for her? Why is she being so nice to me? What's in it for her? But I'm like, nothing. I have not asked for anything from you. You know, never once. It's like, if anything, you guys are the ones asking stuff from me, needing my time, but I don't need anything from anyone because I'm good. I'm good. And if I do need something from someone, there's only a select few that I would go to and be like, hey, I need help. Hey, I need to talk to you. But everyone else, I don't need anything. I just like helping. It's part of my makeup. I like to help. That's it. But people would always sort of assume that, oh, she's up to something or she's playing mind games. And it's funny because it's always the ones who play mind games. It's always the ones who sort of support me conditionally, but verbally, they'll say, oh, I love your work. I love everything you do. I support everything you do. But guess what? When I need them, they disappear. Or like, when I've upset them because I've said something honest that hurt their ego, bruised their ego, they withdraw their unconditional love, which is really showing conditional love. So, yeah, basically what they're doing is I'll only show you love and support. I'll only give you likes for things when you treat me a certain way. But if you don't treat me a certain way, I'm just going to withhold that love. I'm going to withhold that support. I'm going to ignore you. This is, again, not cool with me. And a lot of people think that I don't see it, I don't notice it, but I see it. And I'm keeping mental receipts of these for the day that I go, hey, let's talk about your behavior. And, I can feel that you're projecting all these things onto me. And here's the conversation right now. This video right now is the conversation with all of you who are projecting onto me about this, right? And yeah, I'll give you another example of sort of like projections and where people need to really start acknowledging and becoming more aware of this. So another projection that I got was this is I'm being totally honest and you know sorry mom and dad and in-laws for hearing this. So once in a while I do smoke the ganja. Yep, there I said it, okay? I said it well. And if you don't know what ganja is, it's a plant that's like I don't know, you should know what it is, guys. Anyway, once in a while, by the way, but I have people who project that I am a frequent, regular smoker, which is so funny. I'm like, no, I'm actually not. And if you, yeah, I don't want to get into too much deeper, but I'm actually not like when I do these videos, I'm not high or anything, guys. I'm actually straight. And yeah, so I've had people project that I am a bong head or whatever, right? Because that's what they think. But they don't realize the reasons that I smoke every once in a while. The reasons I smoke personally for me is because I can't sleep. When I really need to get to sleep, and especially I know that I need to wake up early, very, very early the next day. And this is once in a while. I don't do this all the time, but every now and then I know that, oh no, I really need to get to sleep. And then I've only got a few hours of sleep. I'm just like, oh, I need to knock myself out. And so that's why I would smoke. Or if I've had a really, really long week at work and I'm just exhausted and I just want to chill and mellow out and just release the stress, then I smoke. But I smoke very little, by the way. I'm not like some sort of one of these people, right? So, yeah, but I've had people who sort of know that I do project that I'm some sort of addict. And guess what? This is coming from the actual addicts who take all kinds of things on either a daily or weekly basis. And I'm taking things once every 2 months or like maybe, yeah, I really don't take it that much. Like maybe a couple of times, 3 times a month or every 2 months. Sometimes I don't even touch anything for ages, like a year. And people are like, she's an addict. I'm like, what the hell? And, here's something else that people probably don't know. I actually never touched any types of drugs until after I was 30. By the way, I'm 39 right now. Surprise to anyone who's just found this video. But yeah, I'm 39 right now and I didn't touch any sort of drugs ever since until after I was 30. Like the only thing that I ever did was drink a lot, especially in my teens when I went clubbing, like shots. And also, like, I did socially smoke here and there when I was younger, but to be honest, I'm not really into smoking cigarettes. Leaves a bad flavor in my mouth, but I do it when I was younger to try to be cool. But really, it didn't feel cool because it just hurt my throat most of the time. I'd be like, I'm like, God, trying to be cool, but you're looking really like a loser right now. So, ugh. Anyway, yeah. And I'll tell you what, the reason why I never tried any drugs, and the thing is, I had plenty of opportunities to try because a lot of people that I was hanging around with were drug takers, drug dealers. But yeah, anyway, this was in the past, like 20 something years ago, right? But I had plenty of opportunities to try things like ecstasy, weed, the earlier form of methamphetamine, stuff like that. By the way, if there's one drug that I'm totally, totally, totally against, it's methamphetamine and ice, and I'll do a whole video on that another time because yeah, that is something that I really want to talk about, by the way, and escapism and stuff. But off topic. But yeah, I never touched anything because since I was a child, I had this voice. Not only did I have my dad just going, don't ever touch drugs, blah, blah, blah. If I know you touch drugs, you're going to be in trouble. I'm going to kill you all if you guys touch drugs. But that was because my dad, at one point in his life, was a drug addict. And we didn't know that as children until when we were much older. We found out he was on heroin when we were younger. But my dad's off that for 30, 40 years now. So anyway, back to the story. So I always had this voice in my mind that actually was very, very clear to me and said, Tayo, don't you ever, ever touch drugs. You will regret it. You will regret it. Don't you ever touch drugs. Trust me, your body won't be able to handle it and it's over for you. And that voice was very loud in my head. And you see, I feel like I've always had this strong connection to my higher self because I've always had very loud voices that tell me, yes, no, don't do it. Right all. And I'm glad that I listened to that voice because I've had people ask, like, do you want to try some ecstasy? Especially in my teenage years, my young adult years. And I was like, nah, it's like not even half. It's like, nah, I just get this feeling that something's not going to be right. Like something bad will happen if I do. And I'm glad I did because in my younger years, my mental state wasn't healthy. My emotional state wasn't healthy. So I almost feel like if I were to take any sort of drugs in my earlier years, 100% I would have become some sort of addict because I actually have an addictive personality. Like I can get addicted to things like bubble tea. Anyway, sorry, that's just random. But yeah, and after I was 30, my mental state was actually very strong and my emotional state working through it. And then I did try a couple of things. I've only ever tried two things really. Actually, three. Two plant things and one non-plant thing. But that's all that's as far as I've gone. I've never touched anything like MDMA, never touched ecstasy. Um yeah. And whatever else the different things are, like I only have ever touched 2 plants. One I've already revealed. The other is, I'll just say Mario Brothers and you'll know, Toad. There you go, I revealed that one. And then, yeah, the other one is a very popular mainstream one, but yeah, I don't really even touch that anymore much, really. Like, yeah, I'm not a person that really needs drugs, to be honest, because I operate on a high frequency normally, and I have learned that when I'm on these things, it really takes me out of my element and just makes me jittery. Well, the synthetic thing makes me very jittery and too much. And then on the other end, the plants, more like for I the purpose and intent of those is for, like, how can I say, healing, helping me, supporting me with something, i.e. supporting me with sleep or helping me to relax. But I don't use things for recreational purposes. And the toad, okay, I'm just gonna say mushrooms. I've only done it like 3 times, but one was the first time obviously just to try to see, and then the next 2 times was I facilitated my own healing because for those who don't know, I am a shamanic practitioner, and I did facilitate my own healings twice, and very profound. And I don't recommend people doing this sort of stuff without someone who really understands. And I don't recommend anyone who's going through depression to do these types of healings because you need someone with you. Because the thing about, I feel like I've just gone away from projections, but okay, let's just talk about drugs and drug use just briefly here. The thing about substance abuse and using any sort of substances is this, whether it be alcohol or, drugs, synthetic, whatever, what it truly does, all these substances enhance your true state. Did you hear that? They enhance your true state, where you are at. So if you are perhaps on the outside, you're portraying that you're all good and stuff, but deep down inside, you're actually quite depressed, angry, alcohol will bring that out of you. All these drugs will bring it out and it will show, and you won't be able to control it. And it's really interesting because I've seen many people, and it doesn't have to be drugs, it can be alcohol too, who get on the alcohol and suddenly I see their true colors coming out. Anyone who knows me, by the way, when I'm on alcohol, I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really giving. I'm really, really loving. And that's my true state, right? But there are other people who will go on these things and they get angry, the angry drunks, or they will start, just being really negative and saying really, yeah, not so nice things. And that's their true colors. That's their true state. So I just want people to understand, for those of you who have not healed, you probably shouldn't be using substances. Okay. Just a little disclaimer. You probably should do a little bit more work on healing yourself rather than escaping through these things, because it's not helping you. It's just enhancing, right? Anyway, I have gone totally off topic because this video was all about projections and just me putting my foot down and really wanting people, to understand that it's not okay anymore. And I actually pulled out some cards prior to recording to just kind of get the feel of what else I need to say as part of this stop projecting video. And yeah, tower moment. So these projections are causing a lot. What can I say? Your projections are a reflection of what's going on inside. And as you can see through the tower card, a lot of inner trauma, a lot of shit is going on. Destructive energy. And what Spirit and I would love for you guys to do is freaking, in this strength, tame the beast. Really balance that. Work with it. Okay? Work with your wounds. Work with that energy. Balance, temper it. And understand, Two of Swords in reverse. Understand that you're not really seeing what's going on, and it's time 2, because this is in reverse, time to wake up and see where you are probably, likely, most likely, the cause of your own suffering. And Hangman, it's time to surrender to the process. It's time to surrender to healing. It's time to pause, stop, and reflect and see things from a new perspective rather than always going into default and blaming everyone else, being the martyr. It's like, oh, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've done all this for these people. What have they done for me? It's like, well, number one, everyone's got shit going on. Number two, what have you done for the others? I mean, you think that you've done everything for everyone. Do you think that these people aren't doing things for others as well in their circles? Like, everyone's got stuff. Everyone's got, obligations. Everyone's got something going on. You are not the only one in the world suffering. Everyone suffers, but some of us are better at hiding it or disciplining it or like healing ourselves and working on ourselves. Stop blaming. Okay? And lastly, I'm just gonna do an extra pull before I end this. I'm actually on my lunch break, but I just felt so compelled and to do this video because yeah, I was feeling like I just need to do this video on my lunch break. Yeah, Knight of Swords. See, this is that projecting energy, just going like this is projection. For me, in this moment in time, I'm reading this card as projection. Like you're just going out there going blah, 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 at people like, you did this, you did that, you did this, you hurt me, you hurt me, you hurt me. Story of my life. Everyone's like, you hurt me because you weren't there for me. It's like, dude, I'm so exhausted. Do you know how many other people like you are saying this to me and wanting me to do everything for them? And nobody has asked me how I'm going. Stop it. This energy is a no-go. But what Spirit and I would love for you to do is tap into your intuition and connect and really look at the shadows and the light. Acknowledge that you are a light being, but you also have these issues and wounds on the other side. It's time to go within, guys. Remember, 2023, Universal Year 7, time for introspection, time for owning it. Stop projecting and go within. Stop blaming. Stop being the martyr. Stop being the victim. Just stop it. Stop it, okay? Because people like me, us light workers, us healers, those of us who spend our time trying to help you, we're sick and tired of being the scapegoat. We're sick and tired of being your bloody target, getting shot in the back all the time. When all we have done is tried our best to be compassionate, kind, yeah, and merciful. And what I mean by merciful is there are so many people in my life who have done a lot of things that I know if it was them in my position, they would have been like, nah, cut. So I have given a lot of people mercy. I have given people a lot of chances. But because people just keep pushing the boundary, keep attacking me, there comes a point where I have to turn around and say, look, I'm going to be totally honest now. And then I say what I need to say. And obviously it hurts them because they've never had anyone turn around and say that before. But I am that person to say that, especially right now. No one is allowed to point the finger at me and say, I'm intentionally hurting people. I'm intentionally, trying to be mean to them, because that's not my intent at all. I am a person that just wants to help all of you. I want to help, but if you're going to keep attacking me, I will withdraw and I will cut. I will cut. And and so today, I think today's experience, really, I think got me just wanting to really speak up about this right now in this moment in time, because I almost feel like it must be the energy that's coming up right now. And I feel like, there's just a lot going on and I need people to really do the work. And, I'm proud of myself for actually pushing back and responding in a diplomatic disciplined manner to this person who sent me that message last. I said, nah, let me tell you, it's not okay to be projecting on me. And then I sort of listed all the things. And then I even gave this person all the examples like, guess what? This is what is going on in my life right now. And then I think that helped them sort of see things in a new perspective and be like, oh, okay, I've been sitting here projecting onto you, thinking you don't care about me, that you don't love me. But actually, you're going through a lot of stuff. I can see a lot of stuff. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I got a sorry. Thank goodness. But yeah, to any of you out there who, whether you may or not, are projecting, please, 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 I just ask. I ask you to do the work because, yeah, you just have to. You can't just keep doing this. It's not serving you. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people say about me anymore because I am so sure of myself and confident in myself. And I know that I'm a good person. I also know that anyone that intentionally chooses to hurt me always gets their karma. Always. And that's not me, again, trying to punish anyone. It's just me stating universal law. If you go out trying to hurt someone, please know that it will always come back to you. Always. It might not come back through the same channels, but through another channel, it will hurt you or those within your circles. Yeah. It's time to up your game, guys. It's time to really, really, really look at your shadows and just take responsibility. And I want to, yeah, I want people to know that I understand. I was that person too. I used to, yeah, I think I mentioned already earlier in this video that I used to blame people and resent people for not being there for me. But the truth is, because I didn't communicate, I needed help. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid anymore. It's okay. And it's okay to get therapy. It's okay to see, doctors or mental health therapists and all that. It's all okay. We're moving into a world where we need healing. And a therapist is healing. A doctor is healing. All these different modalities out there, it's all about healing. And it's okay to say, I need help. I need healing because we are all wounded. We're all wounded. Yeah. I feel like pulling one last card, one last final message before I actually uh, end this video and go back to work. 9 of Pentacles. Guys, cannot lie to you. If you all invested in yourself and took the time to do this work, sort out this shit, you would be so much closer to reaching your potential and all the things that you desire. All the things that you desire and want and you feel is out of reach, it's actually not out of reach. The only reason it's out of reach is because of the stories you're playing in your mind. But if you snapped out of that, if you upped your game, and if you shifted gears, you can most definitely become successful, wealthy, abundant, whatever it is you want. It's there for you. But like I said, you need to do the inner work. High Priestess represents subconscious. So please go in and do the work, okay? Ooh, getting shivers. Anyway, I honestly do love everyone. And I'm sorry if this message came across cruel, unkind, but I am in my Queen of Swords energy right now, plus a bit of Queen of Wands energy, passionate, truth speaker. But I'm doing it because I really want to lift you all and help you guys level up. I mean, if I can do it, why can't you? Thanks, guys. Love you so much.